Going crazy in quarantine or self-isolation? Don't worry, honey, we all are. Today I'm gonna show you 3 very easy desserts you can make with hopefully things you already have on hand. So stick around, you don't wanna miss this. My goodness, these are definitely interesting times we're living in right now. Most of us can't leave our houses or aren't working. Grocery stores are sold out of basically everything. You know, walking down the baking aisle is just depressing. So I thought it would be a good idea to show you 3 simple dessert recipes, because if you're like me, you have a sweet tooth, and if there's nowhere to go and you want to bake, but maybe you don't have everything at your disposal in your baking cabinet, then hopefully one of these 3 desserts you will have the things for. I'm gonna show you a very basic brownie recipe, super great, super delicious, quick and easy to make. And then I'm gonna show you meringue cookies. Again, very easy, take a little bit longer, but only a few ingredients. And then honestly guys, chocolate dipped fruit I think is one of my favorite things if I have a last minute urge for like desserts or sweets. To me, that is the ultimate satisfaction. And you get the sweetness from the fruit, whatever fruit you're using, whatever you have on hand, dip it in chocolate, folks. It's quarantine, YOLO, just do it. And for you chocoholics, it's, you know, the easiest thing you can do to fill your chocolate craving. So there you go, 3 super easy desserts. I think you're gonna love this because hopefully you can make this already with the things you have on hand. So let's get started.
Alrighty, I have an 8x6 glass dish that I've greased. An 8x8 works as well, and I've preheated the oven to 350 degrees. Now in a large bowl, I'm going to mix a cup of granulated sugar with a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, 3/4 of a cup of flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Give that a nice little whisk until it is nicely combined. You can press out any lumps of cocoa if there are any. Now I'm going to add 2 large room temperature eggs with a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1 stick of melted butter that I have allowed to cool to room temperature. Now finish this off with the spatula and then pour it into your prepared pan and bake at 350 for 20 to 30 minutes until the outsides are set and the inside is still just a tiny bit soft. That's how you know these are going to be nice and fudgy brownies. And who doesn't love a fudgy brownie? I mean, come on, look at that. So I know this isn't a revolutionary thing I'm doing here. I'm literally melting chocolate and dipping fruit in it. But I think a lot of us tend to forget that the simplest of things can make some of the best and most satisfying desserts. So chopped chocolate is ideal for this, but I didn't have any, so I'm using chocolate chips. I'm using my microwave on 60% power, and I'm just doing 20-second bursts in the microwave till it's totally melted. And here I have my favorite selection of fruit, pineapple, blueberries, and strawberries, although I will note that pineapple is not the best to dip in this because it is so juicy, and the chocolate just tends to fall off. So on a sheet with parchment, I'm just going to dip my fruit and then place all of my fruit on there, and then once it's all dipped, I'm gonna set it in the fridge so that all of my chocolate can harden, and then we will have one of the most simple but still very delicious desserts out there. And you can see my failed attempts with the pineapple. We don't need to acknowledge that. Lesson learned. And for the blueberries, what I like to do is I'll use them last, and I'll toss them in, and then I'll just use my fork to swirl them around in the chocolate, make sure they're all nice and coated. And then I just dump them onto my sheet with parchment and refrigerate them, and then it's like a bar of chocolate with blueberries in it. What's not to love about that? For these meringues in my stand mixer with the whisk attachment, I'm going to add a couple of completely room temperature egg whites. They need to be room temperature, with a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar and a pinch of salt. If you don't have cream of tartar, you can use 1 teaspoon of lemon juice for every egg white that you have. So you just want to beat this on a medium-high speed until you start to get your foamy stiff peaks, At that point, I'm going to start adding in a half a cup of granulated sugar, about a tablespoon at a time, letting each addition mix in completely before I add the next. And you want to do this on a medium-high speed and keep mixing it until you get a nice, thick, glossy mixture. Then you're going to mix in a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, keep mixing, and then you'll know they're done when you have stiff, white, shiny, glossy peaks like this. Now I'm just going to pipe my meringues in a bag with a large star tip on a sheet lined with parchment. I've got my oven preheated to 225 degrees. You want to bake these for an hour in the oven. Turn the oven off, do not peek, do not open that door. I know you want these, but don't open the door. And then leave them in there for another hour. This is very important because it'll allow them to cool down and dry out completely, so you'll have nice, crispy, light meringue cookies.
And there you have it, guys. 3 super easy desserts. One of the easiest brownie recipes ever. Meringue cookies, which is my favorite out of this 3. First off, because there's only a couple ingredients, and second off, they're fat-free. So in this time of gyms being closed, you don't have to feel quite as bad about this one. And then chocolate-covered fruit, I mean, you can't go wrong. She's gonna have to go on a run after this, that's for sure. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. The recipe for the brownies and the meringue cookies will be found using the link in my description below, so go check that out. Please, please, please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. We don't like thumbs down, so if you didn't like it, just don't watch the next one. And of course, hit that subscribe button so you can come back and see the recipes I post every week for you guys. Listen guys, I know right now things are tough, but sometimes the simplest of things can make your day a little bit better. I hope everybody stays safe, stay healthy, stay happy and positive. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.